From the above statement, it is found that a devotee is not after any of the stages of liberation. There are five stages which are already explained as being to become one with the Lord, to live on the same planet as the Lord, to obtain the same bodily features as the Lord, to have the same opulences as the Lord, and to have constant association with the Lord. Out of these five liberated stages, the one which is known as the Sayuja, or to merge into the existence of the Lord, is the last to be accepted by the devotee. The four other liberations, although not desired by devotees, still are not against the devotional service. Some of the liberated persons who have achieved these four stages of liberation may also develop affection for Krishna and be promoted to Goloka Vrindavan planet in the spiritual sky. In other words, those who are already promoted to Vaikuntha planets and who possess the four kinds of liberation may also sometimes develop affection for Krishna and become promoted to Krishna Loka. So, those who are in the four liberated states may still be going through different stages of existence. In the beginning, they may want the opulence of Krishna, but at the mature stage, the dormant love of Krishna exhibited in Vrindavan becomes prominent in their hearts. As such, the pure devotee never accepts the liberation of Sayuja to become one with the Supreme, though sometimes they may accept as a favorable the other four liberated states. Out of many kinds of devotees of the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, the one who is attracted to the original form of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan is considered to be the foremost, first class devotee. Such a devotee is never attracted by the opulence of Vaikuntha or even of Dwarka, the royal city where Krishna ruled. The conclusion of Sri Rupa Goswami is that the devotees who are attracted by the pastimes of Lord in Goloka or Gokul or in Vrindavan are the topmost devotees. A devotee who is attached to a particular form of the Lord does not wish to redirect his devotion to other forms. For example, Hanuman, the devotee of Lord Ramachandra, knew that there is no difference between Lord Ramachandra and Lord Narayana, and yet he still wanted to render service only unto Lord Ramachandra. That is due to the specific attraction of a particular devotee. There are many, many forms of the Lord, but Krishna is still the original form. Though all of the devotees of the different forms of the Lord are in the same categories, still it is said that those who are devotees of Lord Krishna are the topmost in the list of devotees. So here, Prabhupada very profoundly is explaining that the devotees of Lord Sri Krishna, they are the topmost. From where he quotes here, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sutta Goswami says, Atma Ramasya Munayo Nirgantaha api urukrame kurvantya hituki bhaktim ittam bhuta guno hari. Atra tyajaiva tokta muktir sarva vidhapi chet salokyadis तथाप्यत्र भक्त्या नाति विरुध्यते सुख ऐश्वर्योत्तरो सेयम प्रेम सेवोत्तरेप्ये सालोक्यादि द्विधा तत्र नाद्या सेवा जुषाम मतः किंतु प्रेमैक माधुर्यम भुज एकांतिनो हरौ नैवांगी कुर्वते जातु मुक्तिम पंचविधामपि तत्रापि एकांतिना श्रेष्ठां गोविंदम ऋतमानसाः येषां श्रीशसप्रसादोऽपि मनोहर्तुं न शक्नुयात् सिद्धान्तम अस्त्व अभेदमपि Krishna Strisha Swarupayoho Rasenotkrushyate Krishno Rupam Esha Rasasthitaha. So this is what here he says, Na Ichchityartha. They don't desire what? Yat Sakshat Tadiya Sevaihi Labdva Paramanandaha. Seva Hesham Salukyad Adhikam Apekshata Eva Etasya Na Vanchite Cheta Kima Itukyam. सावलोक्यादिभ्यो यदन्तो कालविप्लुतमेव तद्वात् कथं वाञ्छितार्थमेतः. गोविन्दः श्रीगोकुलेन्द्रः श्रीशः परमव्योमाधिपः उपलक्षणत्वेन द्वारकानाथोऽपि रसेनयति. सर्वोत्कृष्टप्रेममयं रसनीयर्थः उत्कृष्यते अन्तर्भूतन्यवाद उत्कृष्टतया प्रकाशात् इत्यर्थः. तस्यस्य रसैषेव स्थितिः स्वभाव यत् कृष्णस्वरूपैवात्कृष्टत्वेन दर्शयेत्यर्थः. यथोक्त कुरुक्षेत्रायां षोडशानां सहस्रेणापि महिषाभिः न वयं साध्वी साम्राज्यं स्वराज्यं भौज्यमप्युतः वैराज्यं पारमेष्ठ्यां वा अनन्त्यां वा हरे पदम् कामयामः एतस्य श्रीमत्पाद रजाश्रयः कुञ्चुक कुङ्कुम गन्धाढ्या मूर्धना वोढुं गदाहृतः वजस्त्रेयो यदा वञ्चति पुलिन्द्यस्तृणिविरुदः गावश्चरयतो गोपः पादस्पर्शा महात्मनः. अत्र साम्राज्यं सार्वभौमं पदं स्वराज्यम् ऐन्द्रं भौज्यं तद उपभोगयमात्म वैराज्यम् आदि असिद्ध सिद्ध्यः विराजमनसत्वं पारमेष्ठ्यां प्रजापत्यम् आनन्दं येते शतमित्यादि. See here, even the 16,000 wives of their lordship, when they came to Kurukshetra for a Surya Grahana time, solar eclipse, they prayed when they saw the devotion of gopis and Vrindavan Vasis. They said, what's the use of having this whole empire, our own rule everywhere? Huh? It is nothing in front of the dust of the lotus feet of gopis. One may get it after hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes performing different austerities and everything. One can achieve that parameshtha, the post of Brahma. But what's the use of that? Gavasharayato gopaha padasparsham mahatmanah. But what is most important is that Vrajasthyo yada vanchitam. As like the gopis, they desire what? Pulinandya strunit virudaha. Those lotus feet which are walking behind the cows, they wanted dust of that lotus feet. That is what the hankering of the topmost devotees. Even from the Dwarka, they were with the Lord. But what they are desiring the association in the Vraja, in the Vrindavan. That's why the wonderful verse he says that Raseno utkrishyate Krishna rupam esham rasastitaha. In the all the rasas, the topmost rasa is relished. Where? When Lord Krishna, he himself comes and performs his pastime. That's why worship of Krishna is always considered topmost among his all the incarnations and different forms of the Lord. Even though all they are also great devotees, they are in the same category, but the rasotpatti, the generation of that ecstatic love, that happens only in the Krishna Rupa. So here ends the 4th chapter of Nectar of Devotion. So we'll go further with the next chapter. Or should we do some summary of this 4th chapter? Do you want
Yeah, let's do a summary.
outline for this, or should we go for further?
No, okay, let's do summary.
Huh?
Let's do summary.
Let's do summary.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Yenapi upayena mana Krishna niveshyat. That's the principle of sadhana bhakti. Somehow or other, one should engage his mind in the service of Krishna. So, chapter 3, which gives us the eligibility of the candidate for accepting devotional service. And chapter 4, which explains the most important thing, that is, the devotional service surpasses all liberation. And for that, Rupa Goswami Pad, he has given 20 quotations from almost like 15 are from 15 or how many? 17 are from Shrimad Bhagavatam, where Prutu Maharaj has explained the glories of devotional service, where Shukdev Goswami has explained the glories of devotion, where Vrikasura has explained, Lord Shiva, then Indra, Prahlad Maharaj. There are two places where Indra has glorified the importance of devotion for the Lord versus the uh, liberation. Then Gajendra, then Lord of Vaikuntha himself, then Vedas, then Lord Krishna twice in 11th canto, then Lord Shiva. All they have explained the glories of devotion versus different kinds of liberation. And all the places they have explained, all these 5 types of liberation. What are they namely? Huh? What are those?
Sayujya, Salokya, Sarupya, Srasti, Samipya.
Very good. So what are they mean?
Salokya means to achieve residence on my planet, Lord's planet. Srasti means
Same.
Sayujya, the first one,
Ekatvam.
Ekatvam. Okay. Salokya,
Residence on Krishna's planet.
huh?
To achieve residence on Golok
Okay. To live on the same planet.
planet.
Sarupya,
To possess same bodily features as Lordship.
okay. Fourth is Sarshi. That means
To same opulence as
same
Lord.
opulences. And Samipya,
Personal association with Lord.
having constant personal association.
Personal association.
A devotee is not after any of these stages of liberation. He never want all this, As such, the pure devotee never accept the liberation of Sayuja, though sometimes they may accept as a favorable the other liberated stages. They may accept Salokya, Sarupya, Sashti, Samipya, but they will not accept Sayuja. And further, Rupa Goswami, he describes there are 2 kinds of the 4 acceptable muktis. There are Sukha Aishwaryottara Mukti, where the individual desires the personal pleasure from the opulence attended, and Prema Sevottama Mukti, where the desire to lovingly serve the dominants. The devotees do not accept the type 1, but may accept type 2. However, Aikantika, one-pointed devotee are the highest, as they are either attracted to bhakti or any kind of a mukti. Their minds stolen by Govinda are not even attracted to the grace of Narayana. Although Narayana and Krishna are one and the same in Tattva, yet super excellence of Krishna is that all rasas find their highest expression in him, and that he is the object of the highest prema rasa. Thus, Narayana unable to attract the minds of the Govinda Bhaktas. Makes sense? Any questions? Any thought? Any discussion do you need? Hmm?
No, no problem. I mean, just a follow-up question to the question that I asked yesterday.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think it's been answered actually in the following paragraphs. Um, so I mean, if a devotee is aspiring for more, even if he is in like Vaikuntha planets, he can still be further elevated to like Goloka planets, right?
Yeah, that's what I was
So
explained here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are
Mm,
devotees in Dwarka,
mm,
they are getting attracted to the love and service by the Vrindavan
mm,
devotees.
mm,
Huh?
yeah,
So what you can understand from that?
yes,
Okay, should we go further? Chapter 5,
yes, yes, yeah,
Purity of Devotional Service. The purity. All the previous instructions imparted by Srila Rupa Goswami in his broad statement can be summarized thus. As long as one is materially inclined to desires for merging into the spiritual effulgence, one cannot enter into the realm of a pure devotional service. Next, Rupa Goswami states that devotional service is transcendental to all material consideration and that it is not limited to any particular country, class, society, or circumstances. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is transcendental and has a no cause. Devotional service is executed without any hope for gain, and it cannot be checked by any materialistic circumstances. See, it is open for all without any distinction, and it is the constitutional occupation of the living entity. See, when once Subhash Chandra Bose he came to meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he asked him, "You have all the young and energetic sannyasis with you, and most of your followers are all young, uh, strong youth. Why don't you give it to me? I will take them for liberating our India or getting it independence from British army." Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, "See, Krishna consciousness is never checked by any material circumstances. So whether we are enslaved, dependent, or independent, it doesn't matter." And Prabhupada clearly says devotional service is executed without any hope for gain, and it cannot be checked by any material circumstances. It is open for all without any distinction. Caste, creed, nationality, nothing matters because it is the occupational, it is a constitutional occupation duty of living entities. It is constitutional occupation devotee. Constitutional means which cannot be separated from them. In the Middle Ages, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya's great associate, Lord Nityananda, a class of priestly persons claimed to be the descendants of Nityananda, calling themselves as the Goswami caste. They further claimed that the practice and spreading of devotional service belonged only to their particular class, which was known as a Nityananda Vamsha. In this way, they exercised their artificial power for some time until Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the powerful Acharya of a Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, completely smashed their idea. There was a great hard struggle for some time, but it has turned out successfully. And it is now correctly and practically established that the devotional service is not restricted to a particular class of a men. Besides that, anyone who is engaged in the devotional service is already at the status of being a high class Brahman. Or Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's struggle for this movement has come out successfully. So, what you can understand from this?
Anybody can perform devotional service.
Yeah.
No distinction.
And what is their position?
What Prabhuji position?
Brahmana.
High class Brahmin.
High class Brahmana.
Not only Brahmin, he says high class Brahmin. See, this is what the similarity between the acharyas. When Sripad Ramanujacharya, oh, you all were there for that lecture? I gave it on Ramanujacharya.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, there, the same thing Sripad Ramanujacharya established, equality. Once you get initiated in the Vaishnava Sampradaya, you are same in the Lord's eyes as his dasa. So there is no up and down, there is no distinction. All are same on the equal platform as a servant of the Lordship. It is on the basis of his position that anyone can now become a Gaudiya Vaishnava from any part of the world or any part of the universe. Anyone who is pure Vaishnava is situated transcendentally, and therefore the highest qualification in the material world, namely to be in the mode of goodness, has already been achieved by such a person. Oh, it's a big thing, huh? Anyone who is a pure Vaishnava is situated transcendentally, and therefore the highest qualification in the material world, namely to be in the mode of goodness, has already been achieved by such a person. And we have many examples like Sri Santa Tukaram. Even though he was born in a Kunubi family, which is not a typical high-class Brahmin family, but still he became one of the Acharya because of his purity and devotion for their Lordship. Our Krishna conscious movement in the Western world is based on the above mentioned proposition of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, our spiritual master. On his authority, we are claiming members from all sections of the Western countries. The so-called Brahmanas claim that one who is not born into a Brahmana family cannot receive the sacred thread and cannot become a high grade Vaishnava. But we do not accept such a theory because it is not supported by Rupa Goswami nor by the strength of the various scriptures. The so-called Brahmanas claim that one who is not born into the Brahmana family cannot receive the sacred thread and cannot become a high grade Vaishnava. But we do not accept such a theory because it is not supported by Rupa Goswami nor by the strength of the various scriptures. Srila Rupa Goswami specifically mentions herein that every man has the birthright to accept devotional service and to become Krishna conscious. He has given many evidences from many scriptures, and he has especially quoted one passage from Padma Puran, wherein the sage Vasishtha tells King Dilipa, "My dear king, everyone has the right to execute devotional service, just as he has the right to take early bath in the month of Magh." So, what's that verse? शास्त्रतः श्रूयते भक्तो नृमात्रस्याधिकारितः सर्वाधिकारितां माघस्नानस्य ब्रब्रुवात् यतः दृष्टान्तिता वसिष्ठेन हरिभक्तिः नृपं प्रति सर्वे अधिकारिणो यत्र हरिभक्तौ तथा नृपः. So everyone has a right to perform haribhakti. In the Kashi Khand, it said, अंत्यजा अपि तदा द्राष्ट्रे शंखचक्र गदाधारिणः संप्राप्य वैष्णवीं दीक्षां दीक्षिता इव संबुबहु. There is more evidence in the Skanda Puran in the Kashi Khand where it is said that in the country known as Mayuradhwaja, the lower caste people who are considered less than Shudras are also initiated in a Vaishnava cult of devotional service. And when they are properly dressed with a tilaka on their bodies and beads in their hands and on their necks, they appear to be coming from Vaikuntha. In fact, they look so beautiful that immediately they surpasses the ordinary brahmanas. Ah, Antyaja api tadrashtre शंखचक्रधारिणः संप्राप्य वैष्णवी दीक्षां दीक्षिता स संबभुः. Thus, a Vaishnava automatically becomes a Brahmana. This idea is also supported by Sanatan Goswami in his book called Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is the Vaishnava Guide. Therein, he has clearly stated that any person who is properly initiated into the Vaishnava cult certainly becomes a Brahmana, as much as the metal known as a kas, a bell metal. It's turned into gold by the mixture of mercury. A bona fide spiritual master, under the guidance of authorities, can turn anyone to the Vaishnava cult so that naturally he may come to the topmost position of a Brahmana. अनुष्ठानतो दोषो भक्त्या अंगना प्रजायते न कमणाम करणम देश भक्त्या अधिकारिणाम निषिद्धाचारता दैवात् प्रायश्चित्तं न चातिवाम इति वैष्णव शास्त्राणां रहस्यं तत्विदां मतम्. स्वे स्वे अधिकारे या निष्ठा सगुणैः परिकीर्तिताः विपर्यस्तु दोषः स्यात् उभयोरेष निश्चयः. Srila Rupa Goswami warns, however, that if a person is properly initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, he should not think that simply by acceptance of such an initiation, his business is then finished. So this is what the word of caution for all of us, you know. We take initiation and after initiation, now I am initiated. I am devotee, you know. And we become lethargic to follow the rules and regulation. That's why he is giving अनुष्ठानतो दोषो भक्त्या अंगानां प्रजायते न गमनाम अकरण दोषः bhaktya adhikarina. One still has to follow the rules and regulations very carefully. If after accepting the spiritual mastery and being initiated, one does not follow the rules and regulations of devotional service, then he is again fallen. One must be very vigilant to remember that he is the part and parcel of the transcendental body of Krishna, and that it is his duty as part and parcels to give service to the whole or Krishna. If we do not render service to Krishna, then again we fall down. In other words, simply becoming initiated does not elevate one to the position of a high class Brahmana. One also has to discharge the duties and follow the regulative principle very rigidly. स्वे स्वे अधिकारे या निष्ठा सगुणः परिकीर्तितः विपर्यस्तु दोषः स्याद् उभयोरेष निश्चयः. So it is very important, you should perform your activities according to your capacities with proper understanding, and one also has to discharge the duties as and follow the regulative principles very rigidly. Srila Rupa Goswami also says that if one is regularly discharging devotional service, there will be no question of a fall down. But even if circumstantially there is some fall down, the Vaishnava need have nothing to do with the prayashitta, the ritualistic ceremony for purification. If someone falls down from the principles of devotional service, he need not take to the prayashitta performances for reformation. He simply have to execute the rules and regulations for discharging devotional service, and this is sufficient for his reinstatement. This is the mystery of the Vaishnava or devotional cult. Hmm. Hmm. Practically, there are three processes for elevating one to the platform of a spiritual consciousness. These processes are called karma, jnana, bhakti. Ritualistic performances are in the field of karma, speculative processes are in the field of jnana. One who has taken to bhakti, the devotional service of the Lord, need have nothing to do with the karma or jnana. It has been already explained that pure devotional service is without any tinge of karma and jnana. Bhakti should have no tinge of philosophical speculation or ritualistic performances. In this connection, Srila Rupa Goswami gives evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 21st chapter, verse 2, in which Lord Krishna says to Uddhava, the distinction between qualification and disqualification may be made in this way. Persons who are already elevated and discharging devotional service will never again take shelter of the process of fruitive activity and philosophical speculation. If one stick to the devotional service and is conducted by regulative principles given by the authorities and acharyas, that is the best qualification. Ajnayaivam gunan doshan maya adishyanam api swakan dharman sanstyaja yah sarvanma bhajate sa sattamaha. This statement is supported in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 17, wherein Sri Narada Muni advises Vyasadeva thus: Devarashibhutaptanam pitrunam na kinkaronayam runicharajan sarvatmanaya sharam sharanyam gato mukundam pariratya karatam. Even if one does not execute his specific occupational duty, but immediately takes direct shelter of the lotus feet of Hari, there will be no fault on his part, and in all circumstances, his position is secure. Even if by some bad association he falls down while executing devotional service, or if he doesn't finish the complete course of devotional service and dies untimely, still he is not at a loss. A person who is simply discharging his occupational duty in Varna and Ashrama, however, with no Krishna consciousness, practically does not gain the true benefit of a human life. The purport is that all conditioned souls who are engaged very frantically in activities for sense gratification, without knowing that this process will never help them get out of material contaminations, are awarded only with a